Welcome to a bad recap of Real Steel. Yeah, that's right, we're really gonna watch Steel, the 1997 DC film featuring Shaquille O'Neal. Just kidding, I've already served time in prison. Instead, we're gonna watch yet another movie about robots fighting. I may have an addiction, but at least I don't have to go to rehab for this one. Anyway, the movie is set in the future, in the year 2020, where human boxers have been replaced by big, funny robots. But not the cool kind of robots who are sentient and rise up against their human oppressors. No, these robots are cowards and basically just walking toasters. This is Charlie, a retired boxer who now makes a living off of robot battles, and by make a living, I mean he's tens of thousands of dollars in debt. Oh, never before I resonated more with the character. He takes his robot to a festival, thinking it would be dueling an 800-pound steer, but on the day discovers its real opponent, a 2,000-pound bull. I mean, either way it's animal cruelty, but Charlie doesn't like his odds against the giant beast. Now, most people would walk away from the obvious scam, but most people aren't addicted to gambling, and instead Charlie bets $20,000 on his robot's victory. This is the second most inspiring role Hugh Jackman has ever played, the first of course being Roddy from Flushed Away. The fight starts in Charlie's favour, with him landing a few good blows and evading well, but eventually he gets distracted by a woman in the crowd, allowing the bull to destroy his robot. He then tries to make a swift exit to avoid paying out the $20,000 he owes but definitely does not have, but gets stopped by two men who inform him that Carolyn has passed away. Wait, who's Carolyn? Carolyn is Charlie's, or was Charlie's ex-girlfriend, or technically still is Charlie's ex-girlfriend. Anyway, she died trying to fight a 2,000-pound bull and left behind Max, Charlie's 11-year-old son. So Charlie has to go to court to sort out custody, leaving the event organizer very angry he won't get his $20,000. At court, Carolyn's sister is fighting Charlie tooth and nail for Max's custody, despite Charlie wanting nothing to do with his son. Can this guy be any more relatable? Charlie notices that the couple are minted, so he makes a deal with the uncle. He'll spend the summer with Max while they go on a holiday and then hand over custody for $100,000. This is human trafficking, but the money will go to a good cause. I mean, the guy is tens of thousands of dollars in debt, so no harm, no foul. He receives half the payment up front and uses it all to pay off his debts. Nope, he buys a robot off the black market, easily the worst way to spend $50,000. He should have put it all on black, then he'd have $100,000 and could buy 2 robots. Anyway, he comes face to face with his son, who is very angry that he just sold him to his aunt and uncle. Not because he wanted to live with his father, no, he just wanted his half of the money.
Your half? There is no your half of the money! There is only my all of it!
The child is clearly a moron. Like, when I buy a dozen eggs from my local Tesco, I don't leave half the money in the garden. Nor do I give it to the cashier. I shoplift. Charlie lives in an old gym with Bailey, his girlfriend, slash mechanic, slash landlord. The new robot arrives, and his name is Noisy Boy, and yeah, I can see why they gave him that name. He's controlled by a voice command system, which is stupid. There is no way voice commands are more effective than a dedicated controller, especially in a loud environment, like a robot fight. Also, voice commands just suck in general. I cannot wait for the robot uprising so I can beat Siri to death.
Yeah, keep talking meatbag. Enjoy your fingers while you still have them.
What's that supposed to mean? With a new robot ready to go, Charlie sets off to make some money, but finds his keys hanging by Max's finger over a sewer grate. How do he steal his keys? Charlie was planning on leaving Max with Bailey, the woman he's never met before, but Max forces Charlie to take him with him. The two arrive at an underground robot boxing arena, underground both literally and legally, where Charlie demands his new robot fights in the main event, a battle to destruction against the event's toughest robot for $50,000.
Oh, 50 G's?
Max begs him to take an undercard against a weaker opponent instead, to make a little bit of money and learn how to fight with the new robot. But that's lame, cowardly, and not very swag, so Charlie takes the main event against the gold-blooded killer, Midas. Both bots enter the ring and the match begins, with Noisy Boy landing a clean jab off the bat and completely dominating the reigning champion. The fight goes well until Charlie gets too cocky and allows Midas to land a powerful blow. This puts him on the back foot and he starts fumbling the voice commands, allowing Midas to take control of the match. He then tries reading the manual to figure out what to do, but ends up calling for the wrong move, leading to Midas tearing off the bot's arm and punching his head clean off. After the match, Max calls Charlie an idiot for being so cocky with Noisy Boy, but it's illegal to criticize your parents, so Charlie ignores him and steals his dinner. Deserved. The two then head to a scrapyard to scavenge parts for a new robot. They approach the giant locked doors and Charlie pulls out his... That's a weird looking set of keys. Charlie! They look around for free robot parts while Charlie tells his son about his past as a professional boxer, until he notices that Max is about to walk off a cliff. How did you not notice that? Just come away from the edge, Max. Max, what the Max? No! At the very edge of a shit drop-off into the void, Max's shirt gets caught by a piece of metal. Damn, he's lucky he was wearing clothes. Charlie makes his way down to rescue his $50,000. I mean his son, who discovers that the metal that saved his life was actually the arm of an old boxing robot. Charlie then completely forgets why they're broken into a scrapyard and refuses to help Max retrieve the bot, resulting in Max spending the entire night digging it out with his bare hands on a slippery cliff edge and then hauling it down the road on a trolley. God, what great parenting, pushing his son to be independent. God, I wish my dad did the same thing for me. Instead, he loved me. The next day at the gym, Bailey manages to bring the robot back to life, which sounds impressive but was really just a flip of the switch. The robot has a shadow function, which means it mirrors what the person in front of it does and can store those movements to memory. We also witness the second custody battle of this movie, and this time Charlie does actually want ownership of the child in this case being a 1,000-pound robot. Later, Max is hosing down his dirty robot. I sure do hope his internal circuits are waterproof, and he finds a marking of the robot's name on its chest, Atom. Max wants Charlie to find a fight for Atom, but his father tells him it's just a sparring robot, designed to be a punching bag for real robots and not really able to dish out any damage of its own, kind of like Holly from Breaking Bad. Charlie takes Max to the WRB, the wife ran bro, the World Robot Boxing Arena, where we're introduced to Zeus, the king of the ring, the champion of the WRB, who's never seen an opponent survive longer than a single round, just utter domination, kind of like the 2023 Red Bull. At the venue, Charlie struggles to find a sponsor for a new robot because of his terrible track record, so instead he reluctantly decides to give Atom a shot at the zoo. No, he's not going to be fighting gorillas or small children who have fallen into the gorilla's pen. He's going to be fighting the low of the low, the very worst robots that society has to offer. The following day, the squad pulls up to the zoo and meets the champion robot's owner.
Call me Kingpin. Alright, Kingpin.
He bets Max $1,000 that Atom won't survive a single round in the ring, if you can even call it a ring. The fight starts with Max in control and Charlie being a very yappy backseat driver. Atom gets very close to lasting a full round, but Max's inexperience eventually leads to him getting knocked down with just a few seconds left. But against all odds, Atom manages to get back on his feet, surviving the first round and earning $1,000. Kingpin isn't too happy about this and asks Max if he wants to go double or nothing on a second round. Not even the cruel indifference of losing $1,000 is enough to defeat the indomitable gambler spirit. The second round isn't as humiliating as the first, at least not for Max, who's already downloaded his opponent's moveset. A quick backstep and double punch jump destroys the robot in a single blow and wins them $2,000, but Kingpin once again asks for double or nothing. Yeah, just kidding, he does not have a robot. What's he gonna do, fight Atom himself? After their victory, Max stays up all night upgrading Atom, including transplanting the voice command system from Noisy Boy. Again, this feature is stupid, I hate children. He then convinces Charlie to teach Atom how to fight using the shadow mode, which does mean Atom will fight like a 43-year-old retired boxer, but that 43-year-old retired boxer is Hugh Jackman. This strengthens the bond between father and son, and we get a montage of Atom dominating the underground fighting scene. Charlie is now the one controlling him during fights, using his expert fighting knowledge and experience to outmatch any opponent, while Max is there for moral support, I don't know. Eventually, their success lands them a fight at the WRB on the undercard against one of the toughest fighters, Twin Cities, sorry. But before their fight, they're invited to meet with the owners of Zeus, who want to buy Atom for $200,000. That's basically $400,000 when you put it all on black. Charlie really wants to take the deal because it's $400,000, but Max refuses to sell Atom because he's stubborn and hates money. Instead, he prepares for battle against Twin Cities. Charlie warns him that this isn't anything like the underground fights they're used to. Twin Cities is controlled by a full team of nerds, while Atom is controlled by voice commands yelled into a Bluetooth headset. But before we watch this fight, I want to quickly break the fourth wall. Always hated that wall. I also wanted to share something very funny I found while writing the script. On the fan wiki page for Twin Cities, there's a comment section and it is a fucking gold mine. I thought of a joke that goes like, what if Twin Cities got a middle head and it was really long? It's dirty, I know. I wonder if those are meant to be robo-breasts or something, and Twin Cities is secretly a girl. Has anyone else thought of this? I don't think I can read this one. Twin Cities suck. Okay. Shut up! I just thought that was funny. But anyway, the fight begins and the two robots clash. Despite the overwhelming odds, Atom isn't instantly destroyed and actually puts up a decent fight, until he gets pinned into a corner and pummeled by the two-headed tyrant. Charlie lets Atom get beaten up while he tries to find a weakness in their opponent's fighting pattern. He eventually notices that the robot's design makes the shoulders twitch before throwing a punch, telegraphing its attacks like a Dark Souls boss and making them more predictable and easy to counter. By exploiting this weakness, Charlie is able to turn the fight in their favor, countering every attack and eventually knocking Twin Cities out with a clean uppercut. The crowd goes crazy after witnessing the underdog's victory, and completely high on hopium, Max takes to the stage and challenges Zeus, yes, Zeus, to a match.
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
But ignoring that terrible decision, it's really great to see these two getting along. I almost forgot Charlie sold him for $100,000. I also almost forgot about this man. I forgot his name. He's the guy from the start of the film who's come to claim his money. Technically he is in the right, however, I don't care. He and his thugs beat up Charlie and take all of his money, which is stealing and illegal, so they can't actually do that. But yeah, like I said, Charlie is starting to become an actually decent father. He's going down a path I can't follow. He realizes the life he's living with Max isn't safe, so hands him over to his aunt and uncle earlier than arranged. This makes Max very upset because he really enjoyed living in a truck and spending time with his dad. We then see Charlie drive 1,200 miles across America to return to be with Bailey, who tells him to go fight for his son, and he leaves again. Could have just been a phone call, guys. He goes to visit Max and apologizes for being a terrible father and abandoning him for the second time. He also says they've landed the Zeus fight and asks Max's aunt if he can join him for the final chapter in their robot fighting story. She says no.
I lied.
She allows the father to see his son for one final night. How, generous? The turnout is insane for the championship battle between Zeus, the towering juggernaut, king of the ring, a near-invincible colossus of metal and precision, feared and revered as the undefeated king of robot boxing, and Atom. Out front, the guy who beat up Charlie decides to use his money well by gambling it. He puts $100,000 on 1 to 5 odds that Atom doesn't survive the first round. Now, if you're not dedicated to gambling like I am, note that I did not say addicted, mum. Firstly, I am disappointed in you, and secondly, this means that if Atom doesn't survive the first round, this man will earn himself $20,000. But if Atom does survive one round, he'll lose his 100 grand. Back inside, Atom enters the ring very casually, while Zeus's entrance is a bit more extra. Charlie looks into the crowd and notices that Bailey has come to support them. Anyway, the first of the 5 rounds begins and both bots prepare for a long and exciting duel. Did Zeus just... Against all odds, Atom returns to his feet and gets ready to... Okay, Zeus did it again. But once again, against all odds, Atom returns to his feet and gets pinned in the corner and beaten to submission. But once again, against all odds, Atom returns to his feet, and this time Charlie finds an opening and lands a right uppercut. No one can believe what they're witnessing, but Charlie keeps it going, battling Zeus across the ring in a spout of resistance no one was expecting. Zeus does eventually regain control of the ring, but miraculously Atom manages to hold on until the end of the round. Damn, I really hope nobody bet $100,000 on 1 to 5 odds this would never happen. That would suck. Charlie and Max try to repair as much of Atom as they can between rounds, where he puts up a good fight against his opponent, obviously taking way more damage, but also managing to land a good few blows of his own. He gets knocked down a few more times, but without fail, Atom returns to his feet. Until eventually, in the 4th round, a powerful blow from Zeus disables the voice command system, leaving Atom a defenseless NPC. Somehow he manages to survive the rest of the round despite doing nothing to defend himself, but going into the final round, they have no way of controlling him. So, to finish the fight, Charlie has to fight Zeus himself. Technically. He decides to use the shadow function, standing outside the ring and guiding Atom through the final round. I do think a better solution would have been to have Atom shadow Zeus, that way whenever he throws a punch, they just fist bump. That'd be cute. Zeus once again dominates Atom, pinning him against the ropes and unleashing a barrage of fists, while Charlie just sits and takes it. Everyone in the crowd is kind of disappointed with how pathetic this final round is going to be, except for Bailey, who saw Charlie boxing in his prime and knows what's about to happen. We see that Zeus's systems are beginning to fail, as he's never had to last this long. Relatable. Charlie taunts him into unleashing more energy onto Atom, and as the punches continue, they become weaker and weaker as Zeus runs out of power. Eventually, they stop altogether, and Charlie mounts his counterattack, beating the bolts out of the defenseless Zeus, who looks rather pathetic compared to the fluid fighting of Atom.
Zeus! Is this how you face me, coward?
Atom lands a devastating uppercut and manages to knock Zeus down, but against all odds, Zeus returns to his feet. But Charlie continues to bring the pain, landing blow after blow right up until the final bell. The fight goes down to the judges, and I have no idea how boxing scoring works, but they vote Zeus the winner and continued champion of WRB. The crowd isn't very happy about this because they really enjoyed watching the underdog, as in Atom, not the movie, and they collectively crown Atom the people's champion. I don't suppose that comes with a trophy? Not even a medal? They might settle for a certificate maybe, I don't know. Charlie, Max and Atom celebrate their monumentous fight against Zeus, as despite officially being losers, they're winners in the hearts of the people. And the movie ends. Great movie. I enjoyed the part where Charlie didn't want custody of his own son, and my favorite character was easily the Bing Arena ref, because a robot boxing arena sponsored by Bing is the funniest shit I've heard all day. But yeah, if you enjoyed this recap, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. Thank you ever so much for watching.